Hi, I'm Ben Ciccarelli with IWS Sales, and I'm so excited to be back with you doing videos again. It's spring here in Idaho, and it's motorhome season. It's been a while since you've seen me. The last time we've done a Renegade Vienna video was, I think, a couple years ago. So there's a lot of things to share with you today. This is our all-new 2023 model, the Renegade Vienna full wall slide, and it's one of our favorite floor plans. So I'm going to do a long walkthrough, and I want to just kind of forewarn people that maybe this is the first time you've seen our videos. You know, we go pretty long and we go in depth, and the reason for that is, you know, this motorhome is pretty, this is a high-end Class B motorhome, and we want to make sure you're fully informed and really understand things. So the way I'm going to do this video is if you've never seen these features and options, or maybe one of these motorhomes before. So bear with me. We're gonna have timestamps in the video, so if you wanna go ahead and fast forward through this, you sure can. But hey, if you like this video, go ahead and like us, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel, because we really appreciate it and it keeps us going. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about the Mercedes-Benz chassis that comes on these Renegade Viennas, and let's take a look. All right, here we are underneath the hood of this Mercedes 3500 Sprinter chassis. I'm gonna go ahead and start and talk to you about the performance of this vehicle. So this engine is a Mercedes-Benz 3.0 liter BlueTech diesel engine. It's turbocharged, and it has 188 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. And it's mated to the new 7-speed automatic transmission from Mercedes. And that's been a nice upgrade. They used to do the 5-speed transmission, and we've sold a few of these over the years now, and we've been driving them, using them. I've camped with them personally, and I've even sold some to some in-laws of mine. So they're watching this video too. But I can really tell you from honest experience that this engine and transmission is quite bulletproof. We've driven them to McCall, Idaho. We've gone to the City of Rocks in these. We've gone 70 miles an hour on the freeway. You know, my in-laws have drove theirs to Reno, Nevada. They've driven theirs to the Midwest, Yellowstone. They've been all over. And the constant feedback we get from our customers is that they feel right at home in one of these. You know, they're not underpowered. I think when you look at it, you go, man, that's a pretty decent sized vehicle. You know, this is 25 foot overall, and you know, it weighs about 10,000 pounds. So you always want to know, how does this really drive? And I can tell you, I feel right at home in this thing, and it does drive quite well. You'll be surprised if you come do a test drive how much power these actually do have. So on top of performance, I think a big thing to talk about with Mercedes is the customer service that they offer. You know, I think because of this Mercedes logo, you might get a little intimidated. You know, it's a German brand. But look, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that make this style of a chassis, some sort of van chassis. Ford makes one, Ram, Nissan. And without a doubt, I'd say Mercedes-Benz offers the best performance, and then their customer service is outstanding. So when you think Mercedes, of course you think luxury. Their van line, the Sprinter line, has their own separate service line. So when you go to a Mercedes dealership, it won't just go in where their normal sedans go. This actually goes in a commercial grade service center. So they have different tooling, they have different size bays. They're meant to handle these things. And there's commercial specs, so they're in abundance around the country. So you could feel very confident that if you buy one of these, no matter where you're at in the country, somebody should be able to service you, and there should be a local Mercedes in the area. And just there's so many of these on the road that local RV mechanics, small town truck shops should be able to work on these. It's very easy to access things on these. I would have no intimidation at all about buying one of these and worrying about customer service. So I'm gonna go ahead and just shut this hood really quick. And I wanna take a moment to talk about all the safety features that Mercedes is gonna offer you on the Sprinter chassis. So, Renegade and Mercedes, they have a pretty good marriage. One thing you're gonna find out about Renegade, whether it's in our Sprinter line, Viennas, or even in our luxury Super C motor coaches, Renegade doesn't cheap out on the chassis. And it's important for you to know as you're doing your research that you really understand the differences between Mercedes-Benz trims. There's other competitors that offer a Mercedes-Benz chassis, but it doesn't have all the same features. So I want to talk to you about this higher end trim package that Renegade has. One of the first things you're going to notice is this has LED headlights. And I know that's becoming a lot more standard on vehicles, but I'm telling you, driving these at night has been a game changer. If you go back to driving halogen light bulbs, you won't ever want to go back to that. I want to talk about the collision mitigation features that this has that many other chassis don't have. And I'll give you an example of, I'll give you a scenario. So we live very close to Salt Lake City. It's about 4 hours south of us here in Mountain Home. And I've been stuck in back-to-back traffic. And when you're driving a vehicle this size, although it's a little bit smaller than some of our Super Cs, it still can be a little bit intimidating to drive in that style of traffic. And if you've been driving all day and you get a little bit tired, it's nice to have somebody that's watching your back. So this has something called adaptive brake assist. And what adaptive brake assist does is it's actually in the dash, or the windshield, it's going to be monitoring the vehicle in front of you. And it's going to determine how far away they are. And if the vehicle in front of you gets on their brakes pretty hard or slows down significantly, this will actually apply brakes for you. And Mercedes, Freightliner, they have similar systems, and they both said that in their studies coming up with the system that if the driver would have had one more second to react, that it could have saved an accident or something catastrophic from happening. So that makes me feel really good. The other thing is, if you're driving down the road, cruise control has been around for a long time. But Mercedes has now introduced their Distronic adaptive driving assistance feature, which is adaptive cruise control, if you've heard of that before, which is monitoring your speed and the vehicle in front of you. And at first it was a little weird when I drove these, but I'm telling you, when I'm driving 70 miles an hour down the freeway and all of a sudden I feel my car slowing down or feel this thing slowing down, it's very comforting for me because long drives happen. On top of long drives, and I feel very comfortable in driving these 8 to 10 hours a day, this actually gives you a heads up signal on the dash, and we'll show a little bit more of that. If it kind of notices you're swerving a bit, it'll say, hey, do you need to take a coffee break? Do you need to pull over? And it's kind of a humbling experience, I'll just tell you that. Well, however good a driver you think you are, it's always a little bit humbling when it says, hey, you might need to take a coffee break. The other things it has is traffic sign assist. So if you miss the speed limit, I know like with my wife, we're always arguing about the speed limit. I'm a little bit more of a lead foot. And this thing, when we've taken trips, it tells me what the actual speed limit is. So it'll save you some arguments with your wife, I promise. So let's say you didn't go ahead and listen to this thing and you didn't get that cup of coffee or you didn't listen to your wife or your spouse. This also has another backup safety feature for you, which is going to be lane keep assist. And that feature is if I'm drifting off into my lane, it's going to go ahead and give me a little bit of a correction, and it's going to keep me back in there. So just a nice big brother feature there for you. So I want to talk about this thing traveling down the road, maybe at 70 miles an hour. A lot of people want to know, how does this thing do in the wind? Well, you might hear it's a little windy here in Mountain Home. In southern Idaho, we're at some of the most windiest portions of the state. I tell people that a girl's from Mountain Home, Idaho, because when you meet her, her hair is sticking straight back. So when I tell you, we know wind. This motorhome is just at 11 foot in overall height, and it's 25 foot long. It's about 8 foot wide. A lot of people like to know, how does this really do in the wind? Well, I can tell you without a doubt that it performs really well in the wind. And this chassis has things like crosswind assist and adaptive suspension assist for those things. The honest truth though is I feel very comfortable in a pretty heavy wind, 60 to 70 miles an hour. You don't have to be slowed down to 35 like I've seen some motorhomes out of there. This does really well in the wind. And with those Mercedes features to kind of back you up, it's a great experience. All right, now that we talked about all the chassis features, I'm gonna go ahead and do a walk around on the motorhome portion of this thing and talk about the outside. So let's take a journey. So walking around, the first thing that I'm gonna talk about is the entry door here. And look, when you buy a motorhome, some of these things kind of go unnoticed. But one of the things we love about these Class B or the Super C coaches is they all offer a few different entries and exit points. So I love being able to get into the coach just right here. Nice grab handle. But some things that Mercedes and Renegade has thought about is the ergonomics of getting into this. Like, I know, you know, my grandparents have one of these and it's a little bit difficult for them to get in and out. So in climbing up into something really tall can be struggling. So having this step right here and being able to easily get in and out of this is very nice. You also have the entry door along the other side of the coach, but having this nice extra step really helps. You're not really overextending yourself. Kind of a cool feature to talk about with the Mercedes Sprinter chassis is the fuel door has a security door here. So to fuel up, I just open that door right there and I can go ahead and close it. Some of you are wondering, do I have to leave the door open? And you don't. I can fill up right here. And once I'm done, close that. And then I got a safe, secure, can't steal fuel out of that. So Mercedes thinks about those things. The mirrors, talking again just about functionality. These are wide enough to actually go past the motorhome. You'll notice that the side of the motorhome is just a little bit wider than the chassis. They made these mirrors wide enough so that you can accurately see what's behind you. Moving right along here from the mirror, I'm also going to point out the side bullet camera. So when you turn on your blinker, you're going to see a camera inside that is going to show you your blind spot here. So when your turn signal comes on, this camera is going to go see what's there by you. So again, just some more Big Brother features. I love it. It just makes me feel really safe when I'm driving this thing. All right, moving right along. I want to talk about this model specifically, the full wall slide model from Renegade. This whole slide is a full wall slide. So from here all the way back is one great big slide. And you're gonna find out if you do your research on a lot of these style of motorhomes that many people don't offer that. And that's what's so revolutionary about Renegade and what they offer. You know, many of our competitors do a slide that's maybe only 4 to 5 foot long and it just comes out. And we're gonna do a full interior walkthrough, so we're gonna see how much space that actually gives you, but this has just been a total game changer in this class of motorhome. And one thing I just keep going back to is this is not just a van. This is a true motor coach. It's a motorhome. Now we're gonna roll into the underneath storage compartments. We're gonna go through each one. First thing to notice about Renegade is they do little extra touches. They do a chrome handle, which is nice, and they make it big enough. It feels really quality. They use rotary style latches. These are all covered right here. They do a nice job of the little things. So we're gonna go ahead and get a little bit of a tight in here, and I wanna show you what's going on in this mechanical side of the coach. Right here is our lithium battery package, and we'd like to spec the lithium battery upgrade over the AGM batteries in all of our Viennas. Look, a lot of you are gonna be dry camping in this or boondocking, and there's really not a better option for that than using lithium batteries. And for the price of these upgrades, it's well worth the money. This is a great weekending coach. You know, a lot of people are gonna ask, hey, you know, how long can I go out with this coach? And I tell everybody, you know, hey, the weekend, it's got enough water on board, it's got enough battery juice, it's got a generator on board. Those are the things that are gonna help you get through the weekend. And we'll go and talk a little bit more about those in each compartment. On this other compartment, you're gonna see your battery monitor. There's also one inside the coach and it's all electronic. And then you have your inverter there as well. that's going to run a lot of the outlets and televisions, microwave, things like that. So you don't have to be running your generator to use them. So it's nice to have an inverter. Keep on going. This is a great big storage compartment here. And just to give you kind of some space awareness, this is like your power cord that comes on out. This is a really decent size storage compartment. It goes way back in there. The full wall slide has an extra sneaky compartment that makes this thing one of our favorites. So in this storage compartment, it's kind of hard to tell, but it goes all the way up, just about to where the top of the slide is inside. And it's nice and wide here. Perfect spot for those camp chairs, or for some of you, your rifle. That's where you can store some of these things. Fishing poles, great spot for it, and it's only available on the full wall slide model. So that alone is maybe a reason to buy the full wall slide model. Okay, moving on. I do want to point out that they do spec an aluminum wheel for the front wheels and the outside of the rear wheel here. The inside is a steel wheel. Just give it a great look. Nice lightweight performance as well. Moving on down, you're going to see, this is where you store, I guess it's probably not the politically correct term, but I call it the stinky slinky. That's where you put, this is where you put your hose for dumping, and this is the storage spot for that. Now I'm going to show you where the magic happens on this thing. All right. So this really what makes Renegade stand out from the competition, because they make the not so fun portion of RVing fun. This is your water management location. There's a lot going on in here, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what everything is. Filling this thing up. So this motorhome has 40-gallon freshwater tank, and the tank is actually underneath the bed in this coach. And where you fill is you would go ahead and put your water hose right here, and this lever right here, I would turn that, and I would turn my water on, and that is the tank fill. So that's going to go directly into your water tank in the coach. And what's neat about this one in particular is you have a water management monitor here, so you can see what's going on. But as it's filled up, it'll actually just start coming out underneath the coach, which is the easiest way to tell that your tanks are full. So good mechanical safety net there. And then if I want to just be connected to city water, I connect my water hose here as well, switch that to city fill, and it'll just run through the water fixtures in your coach, and I'm off the city connection. So right here is your black tank flush, which is a nice luxury feature. The black tank is 30 gallons and the gray tank is 30 gallons. But that flush right there is a good way, it's a sprinkler inside of your coach. So you would put a hose here, turn your water on, and that's gonna sprinkle inside of the black tank. And typically you would do that maybe after you've done one dump at least of the black tank. And those controls for dumping your black tank are right over here. You would pull that lever to dump your black tank, close it, then I would pull my gray tank right there. And then usually you would do a black tank flush and rinse it one more time, and throw a sanitation pod in there as well. Park cable, so if you're at an RV park and it offers cable, you can plug in right there. This is a freshwater spigot, so you can fill up, you can connect a hose here, fill up a bucket of water. But a cool thing about the Vienna, you also have a pressurized quick sprayer right here, which just plugs in, just kind of like an air nozzle. And it stores just like that. All right. Next is you're gonna see this is your 30 amp plug-in, and that was that power cord I pulled out earlier. Plug in right there, and that will power up your coach. So, looking at the back side of this motorhome, very sharp looking paint. And tail lights, what I like is these are easily replaceable. So if you're on the road and one goes out, this is a very easy part to find and replace. Up top, you're gonna see you have your backup camera and an LED third brake light for nice visibility. Rear backup lights as well. But the biggest thing about 2023 features is Renegade has upgraded the hitch. So this is now a 4,200 pound towing capacity, and the previous models were a 3,500 pound. What's so great about that is, you know, this coach is nice and short. So for most of you, this is gonna be a great weekend coach that you probably don't need to take a tow vehicle. But if you do want to do that, you now have a wider range of vehicles you can tow behind this Vienna because of that upgraded tow capacity. So you'll find in your research that many cars are somewhere between that 3,500 to 4,200 pound weight limit, and this will do that. And you can call us. We have a tow bar system through Roadmaster that we can hook you up with to be able to tow behind this rig. Moving right along, we're gonna go to the outside of the curb side of the coach, or the passenger side, but we're gonna go ahead and flip the coach around so you can see better.
All right, moving to the curbside. And again, you still have the same door here. Easy to get in and out of, as I mentioned already. Here's your other side bullet camera. The door. This has a automatic or a electronic keypad, so you can we can put a code in here for you to be able to get in and out of the coach and lock that door handle as I open it. This is your propane quick connector. Turn this switch on and you'll have propane to whatever you need to be able to use. Makes great for campsite grilling and things like that. Outside TV. This comes standard on a Renegade Vienna. And even if you don't use it for TV, right, you still have a Bluetooth soundbar in here. And you also have a USB charging port here for your devices. And this is another great big storage compartment. So there is a good amount of storage in these Viennas. Next, this is the Truma AquaGo Comfort Plus water heater. It's an on-demand instant water heater. And many coaches do not have this. A lot of coaches, if you're new, they have some sort of tank water heater. So a lot of them have like a 10-gallon water heater, which makes it a really, really quick shower. But what I love about the Truma is as long as you have water and as long as you have propane, you can take as hot of shower as you want and as long as you want. So perfect example, if you had an RV park and you're plugged into water, you can take a very luxurious shower. Now, this does have a 40-gallon tank. So if I'm boondocking where I don't have a water source, this is great because I can turn the water on and off and still have hot water. So this is a great luxury feature. And you can do a little bit more research on the Truma and why it is such a good brand of on-demand water heater. Because there's a lot of them out there, but we are really partial to the Truma. Okay.
All right, here we go. So this is your generator compartment. In this particular spec we have, this is the Cummins quiet diesel generator. This generator is diesel powered, obviously, and it feeds off of the fuel tank that goes to the chassis. So there's a 26-gallon fuel tank on board, and it feeds both this and the chassis. Talk a little bit about what the generator does, because if you're new to motorhoming, you might not know, but this is what you would use when you're boondocking and you need to run your air conditioner, or let's say your batteries are getting a little bit low. This is gonna go ahead and charge those batteries. And one thing I did forget to mention is this does come standard with 300-watt solar panel on top. So the solar panel will also be helping you charge your battery if you're not plugged in or while you're boondocking. So between the lithium batteries, the solar panels, and this diesel generator, you're gonna be enjoying your weekend without any worries about running your batteries dead. So lots of redundancy built into this coach so you can enjoy your weekend. Last compartment to talk about is just this little storage compartment here. It's not super wide, but it is fairly deep. So this is a great spot to store some of those small things, or I keep a DeWalt drill, or I keep my tools back here. Nice spot for those types of things here. So that's going to cover it for this side for the storage compartments. What you are going to see about this is we have our Girard full length awning here and it has a nice LED strip light there, and we do have a porch light. We'll go ahead and run this thing out and show you what it looks like. So the cool thing about this particular awning, you can see how much shade it actually gives me. This is a pretty windy day in Mountain Home, as I'd mentioned. This does have a motion wind sensor on it. So if it gets too windy, this thing will actually come in automatically. All right, so the moment you've been waiting for, we're gonna go ahead and take a step inside and see what this thing looks like. Okay, so the first thing I wanna point out is what this thing is like when the slides are in. So we have them in right now. And you can see there's actually quite a bit of space here. So I can still access my sink, my cooktop, my control panel. I still have access to the freezer, the refrigerator. Everything's easily to access. But what's most important is I can access the bathroom, right? And I can still get in here with the slides in. Nothing is affected by that. We'll talk a little bit more about this with the slides out. The only thing you can't access with the slides in is the bed. So you see this has this fold up feature here. When we slide it out, you'll see it come down into a nice queen size bed. But really, I can access all of my cabinetry. Just want to give you some good spatial awareness of what this thing is like. I can still make a sandwich. I can still sit down, operate my TV. Very easy to camp in one of these with the slides in. So now let's go ahead and slide this thing out and see what it's like. All right, with the slide slid out, I'm going to show you all the features about the inside here. And the first thing to point out is all these storage cabinets here. And this is what you get when you opt for the aerodynamic front cap like this one has. You could also order this with a bunk over the cab as well. But since this has the aerodynamic front cap, we have all of this really nice storage here, and these go even higher. And these are really nice quality hinges. And we do have a little bit of a light switch in here to turn on and off. And inside of this bag here, we'll show you, but this is our window covers to cover up the cab. We're gonna go over the cab very last. Moving on here, this is a removable, just a little coffee table. So these seats actually go ahead and swivel around, and we'll show you that here. But this table is pretty nice. So when you have these swiveled around, you can have a nice little cup of coffee in the morning. Here you have a nice outlet here that's integrated with a USB port and 110. Over here we have our theater seating. Now, this coach we really expect to be more of a couples coach, so this does not turn into a bed. However, you can order a hide-to-bed sofa if you're looking for that, for more sleeping space, and like I mentioned, again, the overcab bed so that you can have some more space for sleeping. But we like the theater seating. One, it gives you 2 sets of seat belts. And if I'm sitting here, right, they're very comfortable and they do recline. And it's very easy to go ahead and kick my seat back. And it does have this little cup holder here. And there is USB charging ports here too for your devices. The seat belts is a great feature. But what we also like is for entertainment, you can put a tabletop here. Let's show you that right now. And what's really neat about this table is that I can swivel it around if I need to. They have this little notch here, so it's nice and easy for me to get out, but it's nice and wide. And my favorite thing, to be honest with you, is where this gets stored. It is so light and easy for me to pick up with one hand, but it actually goes underneath the bed. Very intuitive. So we're gonna flip around here. You saw this flipped up with the slides in, and it's very lightweight. I can do it just like so. And then this just gets stored right here. Just perfect, just like that. So very ingenious. You don't have to waste a storage compartment. goes right under here. And you can also put your post underneath this as well. There you go, you got a full-size bed there. You're also going to notice throughout the coach, there's one main control panel, but there is a few of these side panels for the multiplex system. And you can easily control all of your lights here with the press of a button. And these are dimmable, which is kind of cool. You just hold this down and you get a little bit of a dim light, which is neat and very easy to operate. These will just come back up for us. There we go. We have our speed fan controls here. So we have a nice max air fan here with rain sensors. In fact, I'm not running the air conditioner, even though it's a pretty hot day, but we got the windows open, running this fan. It makes a really nice breeze for us. Okay, the full wall slide model. This is your kind of your closet and storage area. Very nice for this. So this is your closet with hanging storage in here. And a really neat feature is this pull out pantry here to be able to stack things for your kitchen. And the rest of everything here is just some nice pull out drawers. But one thing you're going to notice about these pull out drawers is dovetail construction. And something I haven't mentioned about Renegade is their cabinets are all Amish built. So Amish craftsmen, and Renegade uses all real wood. And while I'm remembering it, this design of the cabinets, this color is called Lakewood. So if you want to order one, this is Lakewood cabinets. They're all maple hardwood, and the overall interior package is called Vanilla Frost. So you can order custom colors, interior, different cabinet colors, and different exterior colors. But I thought I'd mention that before I forgot. The rest of these, again, are just extra pull-out storage. And these all have soft close drawers. And then just a tiny little cabinet there. But I think Renegade's done a good job of utilizing what would be a small space and trying to fill this thing up. Okay, the bed. One of the reasons I like the full wall slide so much is the ability for me to walk across the bed here. So getting around it is very easy. Most other models of this style of motorhome, the bed is either in the corner, so your partner is either trapped on one side. So being able to have a little bit of a walkway is very nice. This is also a queen size bed. And I'll just go ahead and lay here. Just for size reference, I'm 5'10", and this is very comfortable. I have plenty of headroom even back here. There's a nice padded headboard here. A nice window here. I do have a privacy shade that rolls up and down, and you can't see it from here, but I do have one of those multiplex panel controls here that turns on my water pump, my generator. I have most controls of the motorhome right here, and it is hard to see, but I do have a little bit of reading lights here so I can see. And then I have USB outlets right here for my phone and integrated shelves. So a lot going on just in this little area, and Renegade thinks about those things, why we like them so much. Makes things really handy for you. These cabinets are all smooth face. They look very nice. Tons of storage back here as well. A lot of people ask me, how much can you fit in the Vienna? And I'll say as much as you can bring, but there's a lot of storage just hidden everywhere. Okay. We do have a television here. There's 2 TVs in here. They're connected to the air antenna. There's also the TV up front is a smart TV, but this is connected to your air television that you can watch. There's also another outlet behind here as well. Down below my feet, kind of hard to see, but there is a propane alarm there. So if there's any sort of leak, that is going to go off, which is a good safety feature. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get by the bed here and show you the rest of the coach. And here I am going into the bathroom. This is a pretty good sized bathroom. I mean, there's a toilet right here, and this is a macerator toilet. So I can sit here, no problem. I have access to my water pump here as well. And then I'll just go ahead for reference, show you how big the shower is. Like I said, I am 5'10". There is a skylight over the shower. So But this gives you a good kind of feel for how big it really is. This has an adjustable handle so I can get in and out of it, but really not bad. And with the Truma AquaGo propane heater, you can take a really nice shower in one of these. Okay, moving out. Over here is going to be my bathroom vanity, and there is nice medicine cabinet here, which I love, being able to carry all my medicines right here. And then we have our water spigot, nice little place to wash your hands. There is a 110 outlet, so if you got like an electric toothbrush or something like that, there is one there for you. And just the tiniest amount of storage here, trying to take advantage of all the space in here. Renegade does a great job. Okay, I'm gonna close that up, move on around. I do want to point this out. So kind of a neat little feature is for privacy, this little curtain here goes right around, and la la, I can close myself off. So for changing, you have a little bit of privacy. Just the little stuff that Renegade thinks of. All right, the refrigerator. This is a 12-volt refrigerator, so it runs off of electricity only, but it's 8 cubic foot, a really good size refrigerator for the size of Motorhome. I'm not too limited by what's in here, and it does have integrated shelving that's adjustable to fit your camping needs, and a freezer too. And she's blowing cold right now too. Feels good in this hot weather. All right. Microwave. Not just a microwave, it's a convection oven as well. And I'll go ahead and open it so you can see just about how big it is. So it's really good for small pizzas and things like that. But we like the convection microwave. We have some bigger ones in our bigger coaches, but they do a great job of, kind of replacing an oven. All right, the kitchen. So we've opted for this one to have our propane Dometic cooktop stove, and it is a 2-burner cooktop, and this runs off of propane. We do like this option. This is a grill that comes out, so easy for wiping things in and out. And I do remember this has a 13-gallon propane tank on it. I know I probably missed that earlier in the video, but this is a great propane stove. Here we have our little pop-up 110 outlet for your coffee maker in the morning, and it goes right down just like so. And we do have this really nice sink. I love this sink. It is nice and big, and with an adjustable hose as well. Very nice quality stainless steel sink, and Renegade makes a great little cover for it as well. Moving on to the television. As I had mentioned before, this is a Samsung smart television. And what I like about Renegade, again, they don't cheap out. They don't use any off-brand TV. And this does go ahead and pull out. So I can adjust this and move it to where I need to. While I have this open and you can see this control panel back here, I thought I would point out that this has the WineGuard Air television antenna, and it also has the WineGuard Connect 2.0, which is the Wi-Fi device on here. And you can connect the WineGuard Connect to your Samsung TV, so you can have access to your streaming services like Netflix and all those things, YouTube TV, whatever it may be. So you're built and ready to go. This is a JBL Bluetooth soundbar. It's connected to the television, but you can also plug your phone into it. I like listening to some jazz when I'm cooking while I'm camping. It's kind of fun, and my wife doesn't like jazz, so it's a good way to annoy her too. So here we go. Open up this cabinet, just a nice little cabinet here. Just trying to take advantage again of all the space. Right over here is just for your silverware drawers. And again, all dovetail construction. here is just a little nice place for a trash can. You could also put like one of those small handheld vacuums right here too, but just a nice place for a trash can and whatnot. This motor coach is equipped with a single air conditioner, but you'll notice that throughout the coach, there's a bunch of little air ducts here. And this is a Coleman Mach air conditioner. We've had really good luck with those. You can either direct dump out of the air conditioner, or you can close it off and get evenly distributed air conditioning throughout. Now, as far as heating the motor coach, this is a propane heater. And I think maybe now is a good time to kind of talk about, with the heater, how cold can I camp in? And this motor coach is not a 4-season coach, so I would not recommend this coach for winter use, unless you do some things like isolate the water hoses. But either way, what I'm trying to get at, this is a good 3-season coach. The heater works great for late fall, but anytime you get into that winter, I would probably stay away from camping in this, unless you don't put water in it, or unless you do a ton of different things to heat the water compartments underneath. But a new feature for 2023 in the Vienna is this new vinyl flooring. You'll have seen in the older models, they had a kind of an outdoor carpet style. This is now upgraded to a true vinyl flooring, and we really like it, mostly because of the looks, but also because it is a very tough floor. It is scratch resistant for dogs, animals, grandkids, people coming in and out of this thing. So very easy to clean and maintain. Now let's talk about how to operate this thing. This is the Renegade Multiplex system, and this can be operated, or you can operate the entire coach with this pad right here. So just go through a little bit of the features here. There's an easy way to turn the lights on and off here. This is kind of my main center, so I can do a lot of things from here. But here I'm going to see my fresh tank, my gray tank, my black tank, and my propane. So everything's right on board, easy for me to see, and I can control like turning on my water pump. Now this does have tank heaters, 12-volt tank heaters, and I just got done saying this is not a 4-season motor coach, so why would I have tank heaters? Well, if I'm traveling through in the fall and maybe it gets a little chilly and it does get close to freezing temperatures, I can go ahead and turn those tank heaters on while I'm traveling through. And then over here, we're gonna have the internal temperature of the coach and my thermostat. So right now it's a balmy 83 degrees in here. And then I can set my temperature to whatever I want. I have our Truma AquaGo water tank heater here. I can turn on and off. I can see my house batteries are fully charged, and I have a chassis battery monitor too. And I can turn my generator on and off. This generator is only be run for 3 hours. And a big advantage of going with IWS is we operate the generator for a long time. We really run the coach through its paces before we give it to the customer. AGS, that stands for Auto Generator Start, and that is a system on board that starts your generator. If your batteries get too low, it'll automatically kick on the generator and charge your batteries for you. So a great feature there. But more or less, there's lots of things you can do with this pad. Like I'll press the light bulb function there, and I have access to operate every single light inside the motor coach and even outside. So I have our porch lights, awning lights, and all of our compartment lights here. But I can just turn everything off and on as I see fit, or individually. Right here, this is a really intelligent coach, so it has the auto generator start feature. Here I can turn on my inverter. I can see everything that's going on mechanically and electronically with the coach through this right here. I have our temperature control here, and it's very easy to understand. And we have videos on our iPad that I'll show you to operate this too. But we can operate our air conditioning here. Our air conditioning also has heat pumps built into it. So you can run heat out of the air conditioner if you want. And then of course we have our propane furnace if you need a little bit more heat than just heat pumps. And then we have 2 fans inside the coach. So like right now it's perfectly fine running the fans. We're getting a nice cool breeze in here. Moving on, this is where I can operate my slide out. So when I was sliding in and out, I press these buttons here to extend it and retract the slide. This is how I control my awning as well. And then of course, my leveling jacks. So this has automatic leveling jacks control inside the coach. And the great thing is this makes camping a breeze. I hit auto level and the jacks come down and it automatically levels this thing. From IWS, we'll go ahead and sync that system so it's ready to go from day one from you. And you can automatically retract them as well. You can of course manually operate them, but it's all set up for you. Just go ahead and hit auto level. Next is some settings. So we can change our time, our screen brightness. And then the cool thing I really wanted to point out is the mobile app feature. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you our iPad that we give you with every single motorhome we sell. But this has an app that you can download on your cell phone. But now I'm gonna show you our iPad and show you how this thing works. This Vega Touch Mira app from Renegade, you can connect to our iPad that we give you, and you can operate the entire coach, at least the electrical systems, all from this iPad or from this mobile app. And you can sure connect it to your own phone too, but we already set it up for you on your iPad. But I can control my lights on and off, and I can run my slides in and out. I can run my AquaGo. I can turn my water pump on, all from this pad right here. And my favorite feature about running the slides out is I can take this out. If I'm by myself for whatever reason, I can take my iPod outside the coach, and maybe I'm tight in a tight camping spot. I can run this awning out, or I can run these slides out and make sure I'm not hitting a tree or anything like that. I can also run my leveling jacks from this iPad too, so I can watch them come out if I need to and control them manually. But that app is already set up, ready to go. Now I'm going to do a little bit more of a plug about why you should buy a Vienna from IWS, and that is, you know, one of the features we give you is this iPad, like I mentioned. But more than that, what you're going to find is our iPads all come loaded with our exclusive Advantage videos. So we give you all these videos about how to operate this multiplex system, how to operate the systems in your coach, and they're already downloaded on the iPad for you. And the other thing is we give you our 24-hour cell phone number. So that comes on this iPad. We give you a 24-hour service line, and we rotate through our entire facility, so everybody takes turns on the call line. But when you buy a coach like this, we want you to rest assured that we're not going to leave you stranded. So you get a personal cell phone number that we all carry, and we answer it 24/7. The other thing we do is we give you 5 years of free roadside assistance, and we download your service right onto here. So if you ever get a flat tire or got a dead battery for whatever reason, you can call our 5-year roadside assistance system on here, and we'll get you taken care of. But that's just a little plug about IWS and this iPad. Again, you get this with every Vienna that you buy from us or any new motor coach. So there we go. Okay. So now that's really all the interior features about this coach. Again, I think you should just really appreciate the beauty of this coach and the quality finishes of this motorhome. You know, there's a lot of competitors. This is in the upper echelon of the Class B, especially at the price point. But you're really getting what you pay for. Renegade has been a great manufacturer. They got into these just a few years ago, but they've been building Super C coaches for a long time. They've brought over their Amish craftsmanship over to this line of Sprinter style B plus motorhome. So, and again, just look at the amount of room that you have inside of it. This is not common. If you do a lot of research on the Class B style, van style motorhomes out there, you're going to be hard pressed to find one as much space as this one has. So let's go ahead and show you the features and benefits of the cab right in front. All right, so we're here sitting in the cab, and I think the first thing I'll just talk about is just the quality of the steering wheel. This is a leather wrapped steering wheel, and there's a lot going on here. But Mercedes has done a good job of making everything very easy for the driver to access. So and if you're performance driven like me, this thing has paddle shifters. I mean, how cool is that? To be able to shift this thing with paddle shifters. But of course you have your windshield wiper controls and your shift lever here, which is kind of peculiar, but it does the job. I have all of my controls here for my adaptive cruise control here. I can set my distance and everything. I can control my dash screen from here. So I'm just scrolling my finger across the top, and I can see, I can change some settings in that dash, but that's all on my left hand. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, I can control everything on the infotainment system. So I don't have to take my hands off the wheel, but I can scroll through using my thumb here, which is actually pretty neat. And I have some physical buttons too. I can control my volume, so I can run the radio from here. I have voice activation, and I can have totally hands-free control just from the steering wheel. So Mercedes thinks about the little things. Along with all those features in the steering wheel, it also is telescoping. So I can move it in and out and up and down to get more comfortable. Let's just go ahead and talk about this infotainment system and everything that's going on. So you do have integrated navigation, which I know a lot of you are looking for. It also, of course, has Apple CarPlay, but if you're looking, or Android Auto as well, but if you're looking for an integrated navigation system, this has it. Of course, I have all my Bluetooth phone connections, radio, media, Apple CarPlay. But I thought I'd go through just some of the settings on this screen here and just show you some of those assistance features we were talking about. So if I go through assistance, you can see the screen here. I have my traffic sign assist. I have my active lane keeping assist, and I can change this to off or on if I didn't want it. But this will actually keep me in my lane. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the air conditioning down. Physical buttons. Active brake assist. And again, this was that feature where it can stop you and apply brakes, and I can set how sensitive I want that. Or I could turn it off if I wanted to as well. Attention assist. This is where it'll suggest rest areas or tell me to pull over or get a cup of coffee if I need to. But really just a really cool infotainment system, and it gives you a lot of functionality to customize the way that you want the vehicle to be for you. So changing the way the doors lock, the acoustics in it, changing how the lights go on and off, changing your display, just a lot of functionality to make this thing more and more comfortable for you. Now, I do like the touchscreen, but I'm kind of a physical button kind of guy too, so you have plenty of physical buttons to use too, so you don't even have to use that touchscreen. You can use the home buttons in here. You can control the volume. You can control all of your air conditioning and heating controls physically too. There's plenty of cup holder space here, phone holders, and there is a unique little storage spot here so you can put your sunglasses and whatnot, but that is where you have your USB charge ports and where you can control your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto devices would go in there too. And we have cup holders here, a crazy amount of cup holders, I would say. This is push to start, and these are all powered seats too, so I can control going up and back and my tilt, so a very comfortable seat. And then these are leather seats, and they are true German, stiff leather, and I really like them. They're very comfortable, and they're black. They look really nice. One of the coolest features for 2023 in the Sprinter and in the Vienna is this digital rear view camera. So it actually looks like my rear view mirror. It's in an optimal spot, so I just look up and I can see out the back of the coach at all times. So I don't even have to be going in reverse to operate that. But this is also where, if I turn my side turn signals, I can see out the side of the coach like we talked about on the exterior. So that's a nice view of our house right out there. And that is a great supplement to your mirrors. I do want to talk about the safety SOS button here from Mercedes. So now this is something you would need to pay for with Mercedes, but they do have a SOS, emergency safety subscription that you can buy from them. But if you do get it, if you hit this SOS button, that will automatically call emergency services for you. And you know, it has some really unique things, like if this thing is in a crash, you would it'll shut the fuel pump off, it'll call emergency services. Just nice safety features. I also forgot to mention, this does of course have front driver and passenger airbags, but it also has side airbags, upper and lower side airbags. So, you know, which is kind of unique to many motorhomes to have that many airbags. Just one more reason to go with the Mercedes and the Renegade Vienna. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Now, we're at the end of the video where I gotta tell you the price. So, now this is a 2023 model. So Renegade does hold us to what they call MAP pricing. So the lowest price I can share with you is that this coach is $183,995. But I can assure you that if you call us and said that you mentioned my name, that will get you a better price on that. But seriously, give us a call. We give you our absolute best price on this. We do take trades. We can finance, all that good jazz. But hey, I really appreciate you sticking with us through this whole entire video. And again, I hope you found it informative. And you know, look, we're just a bunch of small town folks out here, so we're not perfect. So I hope you enjoyed it. Got a little feel about what we're like. You know, a lot of our customers come from out of state. You know, one of my good friends, Steve and Joanne Brown, they came from New York. They bought one of their Viennas from us. So we got customers from all over, okay? And watching these videos is what keeps us going and informs our customers. So if you liked the video, leave us a like, go ahead and drop us a comment. And if you did like it that much, go ahead and subscribe to our channel because we have new content coming out all the time. But seriously, thanks again, and we hope to see you out on the road.